She's back. If you're not careful, you can talk yourself into or out of anything. My most recent story comes with a warning label. This story is about the power of suggestion, episode number 2, self-suggestion. Hello, and welcome, Manifest on Purpose family. Welcome back to me. I've been out for a while, but I'll explain all about it in today's story. Thank you so much for being here. I am the host of the show, Kimbaley. I am here to help you become a better person tomorrow than you are today, and to help you become a better person today than you were yesterday. Thank you so much for sharing this show with those that you love and care about. And thank you for subscribing here and on the website at Kimbaley, KIMBALEY.com. And you know how I feel about you. The God in me loves the God in you. In today's story, we're going to be talking about the power of suggestion part 2. This is about self-suggestion, and it also explains all about where I've been and what I've been up to. But before we get into that, let's hear our Astro-Numerology report for today, courtesy of Astro-Numerologist LLoyd Strayhorn and the Star 8 mobile numerology app. It is Monday, June 24th. The sun is in Cancer, moon is in Aquarius. It's a 5 universal month, a 9 universal week, and 11 universal day. Ideas are likely to come out like a bolt out of the blue when you least expect it. But that is what today's cosmic energy is all about. The key, however, is to be relaxed, receptive, and ready to jot them down when they come. Then later on, if not now, you can perhaps capitalize on these flashes of inspiration to make life easier or take it to the next level. The choice is yours. Leo, Aquarius, Cancer, and those born on the 2nd, 7th, 11th, 16th, 20th, 25th, and the 29th of any month are the ones likely to be the source of inspiration. Once again, that inspiration comes from the Star 8 mobile numerology app, courtesy of Astro-Numerologist LLoyd Strayhorn. But don't take my word for it. Feel free to tap into the forecast every single day by downloading the app. You can get it at star8.com, ASTAR, the number 8.com. You can also go to the Google Play Store, the App Store, or you can find it on Linktree/numbers and you. Sometimes your best tools lie dormant right in front of your very eyes on this journey that you call life. One of the greatest tools that you can have to use to your benefit is knowing your numerical frequency, knowing who you really are, what your skills are, what things you may need help with, can help you better navigate your own personal journey. Do this by getting your numerical reports. First and foremost, the most important report is your personal numerology report. This gives you insight about your lucky days, what days you should be cautious on. It tells you who you really are and what your unique skills and abilities are. You also would benefit from having your yearly forecast. This is a step by step, month by month detailed report about what's going to be going on in your life. What's the theme for this year? How should you navigate through this year? You can also get to learn about the relationships that you're in, and this is not just your intimate relationships. This is all relationships. This could be your coworker, your business partners. This can be family members. And you can also benefit from your business report. Get to know your business as well. Your business is not just an entity. Your business has a birthday too. And that birthday will tell you a lot about how to run your business, and it'll tell you the cycles that you can expect from your business. You can get all of these reports, and soon you'll be able to get more at Kimbaley, KIMBALEY.com. Once again, that is KIMBALEY.com to pick up a copy of your report today. Now, let's get into today's show. Well, I like to consider myself as being one of the world's greatest storytellers. At least that's what I'm working toward. Books were my way of escape as a child. I've always loved a good story, and that continues today. Throughout my life, even in childhood, I love to tell stories, especially to the family. It's always remember this or remember that, and usually I was the only one sometimes that would remember those stories. And sometimes those stories would give us great memories, things that we can look forward to in the future, and things that we can tell our children about as well. The Manifest on Purpose show is all about doing things on purpose. That means being intentional with everything in life, including my storytelling. So, the way that I use storytelling today is a bit different than I used it before. Today, I use storytelling to help you. If you're an avid listener of the Manifest on Purpose show, I'm pretty sure you know by now that my life has been a colorful one. And I like to use storytelling as the art in my life, that tapestry that I weave together to get all of these experiences out to help you learn from those experiences. Sure, I've heard people say before that it's not always a good thing to tell your story, especially when you do it in this way for a large group of people. Now, one thing you should know about me is I have my own mind. So, most of the time when I hear don't do it, I'm going to find a way to do it anyway. Well, you heard it straight from me. But anyway, I have decided to tell stories, but usually I tell stories that are uplifting and lighthearted. Well, I guess you know that I was away last week. And you can say I was on a vacation of sorts, but it was not a planned vacation. Keep in mind that we're talking about self suggestion today. This is not the original story that I was going to tell for self suggestion. I had a story that I had already been writing. The thing about that story is it led me to my vacation. It also made me take a step back and look at how I was doing things and how things needed to be done from here on out. Well, let me just start by telling you what this story was initially supposed to be about. It all started about 2, 3 weeks ago when I went to this event at a family member's house, and it was a nice event. And before we left, one of the family members offered me a mixed drink. And I was like, sure, the drink looked so tasty. I could not resist it. And it had all of this big, beautiful fruit in it. It had peaches, strawberries, everything that I liked. And the container or the packaging it was in made it look so much more delicious. And the drink actually had frost on the outside. Now, it had been a hot day, and I thought, ooh, when I get home, this drink is going to be nice and cool to sip on. I thought to myself, I just hope I don't get a hangover. And so I took the drink home and I did sip on that drink. Let me stop playing with you. I devoured that drink and it was so tasty. And the whole while I just kept thinking, I hope this does not give me a hangover because I'm not a big drinker, but it was so hot that evening that I decided I deserved to cool off. With me continuing to think about and also going to bed thinking about what that drink might do to me the next day made me wake up in that state of mind. Seriously. So I laid around that morning and the family member that gave me the drink called me to check on me to see how I was doing. And the first thing I said was, "Girl, what did you put in that drink?" Because I was just feeling so bad. And she said, "What do you mean?" I said, "What did you put in it? What kind of alcohol did you put in it?" And she said, "It was a virgin drink. I didn't put any alcohol in it." And I was like, oh my goodness, I had talked myself into a whole nother state of mind. Now, the story doesn't end there because I had one more drink. And since I found out for sure that there was no alcohol in the drink, I decided to drink that one too. And I was really thirsty this time. So if I devoured the first one, you can only imagine what I did to the second one. I tore that thing up. And the state of mind that I was in only got deeper at that point. With the additional drink, that state of mind only got rougher, which I'm going to say just led to some really unusual circumstances that I had to deal with. Throughout that time, a lot of things were not clear to me, but when things began to eventually start clearing up, I look back at what could have caused me to be the way that I was. And I realized that the story that I was writing was actually creating a memory in my own subconscious mind. This is very important. This is what I want you to take in. First of all, no matter how long you've been studying manifestation, universal law is universal law. So when we look at these principles, we need to look at them with a closer eye. We need to pay more attention to it. I believe in engineering the manifestation process, and that's simply going to the final results and seeing how you got to those final results. This can be in a matter that is positive or negative. And so in this situation, I did the same thing, and there are some things that were reinforced to me. And I say reinforced because these are things and principles that I already knew, but I kind of got slack on it and wasn't paying attention to it. And once that happened, you can create the perfect breeding ground or the perfect storm or the perfect soup to manifest something that you don't want to happen in your life. One of the things that I notice is I would say that my layer of protection was down. And I say that because I always talk about how we need to be careful of our intake. Sometimes it's difficult with all of the media that is constantly at our fingertips. Sometimes we get into stuff and we get caught up in these things that are negative vibrating things, low hanging fruit. Once you get in the habit of accepting this type of intake, it kind of makes you forget about the possible consequences for what you are taking in. But that doesn't change the fact that it is still entering your subconscious mind. So that is number one thing that I learned. Another thing that I learned is repeating something over and over again will also open up the doors to the subconscious mind. Say, for example, with this story I was going to tell, you have to know a part of my storytelling process so that you can understand how I actually craft my stories. A lot of times, these stories are played in my mind over and over again until I can get them to gel together. The name of that story was actually going to be The Hangover. And that's what I was consistently saying in that story, not knowing or not opening my awareness to the fact that I was opening the doors for the subconscious to attract that into my life. And I'm going to tell you a secret, and maybe this is something that you can use as a technique for yourself. If there's anything that you would like to manifest in your life, one of the great ways to do it is to be on something like social media, to write stories, not just stories. You can just be teaching about something, telling something that is consistent with what it is that you are trying to attract in your life. And when you get multiple people to hear that story, it adds power to that story. So that is the thing that I learned throughout this whole manifest on purpose journey. It's like now when I tell a story, or as in this case, before I get to even share that story with you, it was already playing out in real life. So, since I've been doing the Manifest on Purpose show, I've noticed that I'm able to manifest things on a quicker level, and it's not all that intentional. Of course, I do the best that I can to keep it positive, but I've been noticing like as soon as I speak something, it comes into existence at a rapid fire rate. And it is because I'm sharing this and many people are listening to this. And in the Bible, it talks about, and I'm paraphrasing here, when two or more gather in my name, there I am with thee. So, what that is really saying is that there is power in the two or more gathering together. So, when you are being observed by an observer, then you are actually triggering the manifestation process. In that case, you're actually creating a self fulfilling prophecy. And one day I'm going to teach that how to write a story that manifests. And if you pay attention, a lot of the rappers do that. Kanye West does it, Jay-Z does it, Biggie did it. So even for the negative, because even Tupac did it when he predicted his death. So, one of the mistakes that I'm basically telling you not to do is to continue replaying stories about yourself that you don't want to create in your life over and over again. Create stories that manifest something positive for you. Talk about things that you would like to create in your life instead of the bad memories that you have or the things that you don't want. Too much focus on the things that you don't want always brings those things to existence too, because what you resist persists. See, it makes no difference whether you focus on not wanting it or wanting it, because at the end of the day, you have focus there, and that is all that is required. So if you continue to say, I don't want XYZ, you are really placing your focus on XYZ, and guess who's going to show up knocking on your door? XYZ. You said it. I also learned that you have to be careful about your moods, your temperaments. Sure, we're not always going to be positive 100% of the time, but if something disappoints, if something is not the way that you want it to be, you need to find a way to hurry up and get out of there. Don't be like the pig that waddles in the mud. Get up, brush yourself off, and move on. Because when you hold on to those things that are potentially causing negative memories in your subconscious mind, those things will continue to wreak havoc in your life. So, whenever you feel that you're in a negative mood, you need to do whatever it takes to raise your vibrations. And if you've been listening to this channel long enough, you know that there's several ways to raise your vibration. Turn on some music. Find someone to talk about something positive. Read a book. Go out, take a jog, take a hike, do some running. Do something that can actually stimulate your mind in a way that keeps you from focusing on that in which you do not want. And it's another thing that you have to pay attention to. You have to pay attention to your emotions. And I'm going to get into this too because I saw Inside Out 2. I'm really a fan of Inside Out 1 and Inside Out 2. It's a new film that just came out. And it talks about, it's an animation, by the way, and it's all about the emotions that are going on in your mind. And what it is basically teaching is that all emotions are necessary. You just have to find the balance for those emotions. And I'm going to get into a conversation about that also. But you need to make sure that your emotions are in check. You need to make sure that there are not emotions there that just are running amok in your life. It's important because those emotions are what leads to those temperaments, those bad memories. So you're going to have to watch out for your emotions too. These are all the things that I have learned through this experience that I recently had. And I chuck it up as, this is my purpose. I have to go through things so that I can bring them to you and remind you so that you can manifest the things that you want to. And when things go wrong, you kind of know what might have went wrong and you can course correct, fix that, and try something different. Another thing that I learned, and this is probably one of the most important things, and yes, this is going to be a conversation too. Daily gratitude. It is so important. I don't know what day it was, but one day I woke up feeling like myself, and I was just so grateful that I just laid there in gratitude for I don't know how long, just saying thank you. for being back to where I needed to be. So it is important. Every morning, you need to start your morning with gratitude. And every evening, you need to finish your day with gratitude. And don't finish it with negativity, whatever you do, because when you go to sleep at night, that negativity is just going to replay over and over in your mind, creating another memory, which creates another part of yourself, reality. I don't want to be the one to tell you what you should do on your manifestation journey, but in this case, I felt that it's very important for me to let you know what you shouldn't be doing. Whatever you do, please do not replay those negative stories, because when you replay those negative stories in your mind over and over again, you create a memory that goes on to become a belief. And sometimes it's not always the best thing. And I was rediscovering this the hard way last week. And the reason why I went through it, I like to think, is so that I can help you on your journey. This is also to let you know that no matter how long you've been practicing, no matter how many techniques you know, we're not perfect in any sense of the way. We all go through things. I'm just one of those types that I feel like whenever I go through something, I'm going to be as transparent as I can be about it so that I can share this knowledge with you. I feel like that is one of the ways that I am here to help serve humanity. That is something that I take very seriously. How in the world could somebody receive a hangover from a virgin drink? I say self-suggestion. It was something that I talked myself into. The mind is so powerful. What are you saying about yourself to yourself? What are you saying about yourself to others? All of that plays a significant role in what you manifest in life. Be careful of your intake and be careful of your output. Be careful of the things that you declare. Be careful of the things that you attract into your life through the power of your words. Everything you say to yourself has the possibility to become a suggestion to the subconscious mind. And we know what happens once it is accepted by Madam Subconscious. It becomes a memory first, and then it becomes a belief. Once a belief is formed, it becomes your reality. In other words, you can talk yourself into or out of anything. So speak accordingly. I love you to life. This is how you manifest on purpose.